Hey, welcome to our show here tonight. Welcome to We'll Sing and We'll Shout. This is your host Steve Hansen here on a Monday night live from the office in Provo, Utah. We are up to episode 83 here in season one of We'll Sing and We'll Shout, and I think this is segment 12, Cheryl,
Yeah,
of
I think so. 12 or 13, somewhere in there.
12 or 13 of the countdown of the boyfriend's countdown calendar. So this will
Yep.
be fun here tonight. It's a beautiful day here in Provo. I got some good things done in the office and also got some work done on some job sites. We are painting my crew. I'm not directly involved in this, but some of my crew is down painting this 11,000 square foot home down in Woodland Hills.
Wow.
And they're doing a fantastic job. I was down there today and just checking on things.
That's a
and
lot of paint.
That's a lot of paint. Yeah, like
Mhm.
$6,000 worth of paint.
Yep.
That's just the paint. That's not the labor.
Right. Not the labor.
But this is an amazing home, and they have to have it ready by June 4th because it's part of the parade of homes here in Utah.
Oh, geez.
So there's a lot going on that property.
My daughter Allison knows how to paint. She paints really well. In fact, she had
All right.
a contractor ask her one time. He asked her if they should paint for her when she lived in Canton there, and she said, "No, I'll paint for myself." And he kind of rolled his eyes like, "Oh, geez, another homeowner painting."
Right.
And when he came back and looked at it, he invited her to come paint for him anytime.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
She really knows what she's doing. She doesn't mess around. She's like studied it, and she's helped me to learn how to paint really well. So
Well, you have to be real thorough, and
yeah, and
the
you have
trick
to be
as a
willing to put a
professional.
lot of paint on your roller. You can't be skimpy with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And as a professional, you have to learn how to paint very efficiently, but also do a very good job. And that's what these guys are doing down there. I've got really good painters, and I'm really happy with, and the homeowner's really happy. And so if I got a happy homeowner and I'm happy, then everybody's happy. So
Right.
So tonight here, I've got my Blue Moose tie dye shirt on from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So here I am in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Cheryl, at 220
Mhm.
pounds. And that's when I picked up this shirt. So I had to get the the extra large size, and now I'm
Mm.
a little bit smaller than I was then by over 40 pounds.
Yeah,
And
you look a lot better.
now this shirt is gosh, so much inflammation there. There is, we talked about this last time, but there's some hair on this head here that was not present there. So I
Right.
feel like my scalp is healing. I had a great workout session at the rec center here later this afternoon.
Mhm.
Just practiced some basketball and then went up and hit the weights really hard. And I was lifting more weights than I ever have. So that felt really good. So yeah, just really, really happy, Cheryl. I remain just really happy with what is going on in my life in so many ways.
Yeah.
We still have our challenges. There's things to work through, and life is life. But I'm just so thankful to have rediscovered some health and the happiness that goes along with that.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
and I'm so thankful for this program because these nutraceuticals that I use, because anytime like this, like I shared before we got on here live, this was a rough weekend with the wedding. There was free, really good soft serve ice cream at the wedding. So I had 3 dishes of that with the toppings. And then we stopped at In-N-Out Burger on the way home because I hadn't had anything but ice cream and 2 cupcakes.
Right.
And so I had a cheeseburger at 1 a.m. in the morning. And then Mother's Day, Sunday was Mother's Day. And so my gourmet chefs that I have around here, cooked up some
Made some good food.
made some really amazing food for Mother's Day. So it was like a 5 or 8 pound, weekend kind of thing.
Yep.
And so today I just had a salad at Zupa's at lunchtime, and I've been fasting since then.
Yeah.
But when I use the products, I'm able to jump back into my program, and within 1 day, I feel like I'm back on track. And
That's good.
and that is something that I could have never done before. Like,
Yeah. Usually
so
once you get
often-
off your diet, you're just off it forever.
Oh yeah, or you just really struggle to get back on.
Mhm.
And with this fasting program, I can literally jump right back on the wagon the next day.
Yeah.
And I just feel so grateful for that. It's just so. It's
Yeah, I
been
noticed
so
Martin
amazing.
did good tonight. We ordered a pizza because I just couldn't figure out anything to eat. So we ordered a pizza from this place called Dewey's here in Dublin. They have the best crust. And he ate his pizza at 5:30, and at 6 o'clock he stopped eating. So really proud of him.
Right. Right. Excellent. Yeah. Get that
Yep.
boy doing some solid fasting every day. Well, hey, without everybody, we probably have a million people online here now who
Just
are
waiting to hear about my love life.
anxious to hear about your teenage love life. And and I know my good friend Merlin is, because he lets me know that these are his favorite episodes when
Of course.
Cheryl shares her boyfriend stories. He's not really impressed with Steve's girlfriend stories that much, but he seems to really like your boyfriend stories. So
Because he knows mine are true.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm
Anyway.
just kidding.
All right. Well, your stories are much more juicy than mine. So if anybody's got,
Well, our story tonight is going to kind of combine because the two of us kind of experience this together.
Yeah, for sure. So go ahead and jump right in.
All right. Well, I knew I was going to be talking about this as I'm in 11th grade at this point. Well, it was really between my sophomore and junior year that I kind of started dating this guy. And this was kind of actually dating. It wasn't just holding hands in the hallway or kissing on a bus or something. I met this guy he was a senior and I was a sophomore at Bellevue High School. His name was Gary Pollock. And, I'm not quite sure like how we actually got interested in each other. I'm guessing it was through drama, through theater, because I know he was in The Wizard of Oz and he must have been in Hello Dolly too. So I'm thinking it must have been through theater, hanging out backstage, that kind of thing. And then I'm trying to think if it was that summer that I was in the Cherry Festival pageant, or if it was the next year. I think it might have been the next year that I was in the Cherry Festival pageant. But so Gary Pollock, he was the son of the town banker, and they lived in kind of the ritzy area of Bellevue. They had some money, the ritzy area of Bellevue, if there is such a thing.
What is that? I'll look up that street. Well, is that Arlington? I think it's.
Yes, it was Arlington.
Yeah.
See, it even has a fancy street name.
Yes.
And Mrs. Urick lived there. She was our chaperone for Cherry Festival when we got to be in Cherry Festival. And then I was in the court. So Mrs. Urick, we always would go and stay at her house, and she'd take us around to all the little festivals and parades and such. And she was the one demanded we act like ladies. But she had a beautiful house on Arlington that had the 4 big white pillars in the front. And of course, that always impressed me because I was always all about Scarlett O'Hara and the Gone with the Wind and that big, beautiful house. So I thought she just had it made. But
well, the Warrens, the Warrens, Mr. Warrens, Dwayne.
Doug.
The Dwayne Warrens lived up there on Arlington also, along with whoever else. So, but yeah, I'm looking at Arlington and I'm trying to find one that's got the pool. It's possible that
they filled it in. It was kind of third it's on the south side of the street, and it's kind of third from the corner.
Third from the east side.
From the east side, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see
no evidence of a pool.
I don't see the pool that I'm familiar with. There's somebody's got I'm not even sure that's a pool, that's a shed. So it looks like that pool is no longer there. I'm sure the house, I'm sure one of these is the house, but unless it's buried underneath all these trees, you know what? Here's the second one in, looks like a pretty good sized house, and it looks like there's a pool back there.
That could be it.
Could be it. So, but anyway,
so Gary and I started liking each other, and he happened to have a pool in his backyard, which if we ever wanted to swim, we usually had to go to the town swimming pool there in Bellevue, and it wasn't great because there was always so many kids there. So it was really fun to have a friend who had a pool.
We would go down to Kinney's.
Yeah, that's true. We'd go to Kinney's and swim sometimes.
Yeah.
What was the name of the pool in town there?
Olympic.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Olympic, yep. Yeah. And we spent some time there in the summer, not a lot, but sometimes Dad would let us go up there.
Yeah, I had swimming lessons there.
Yeah, me too.
if you had a quarter, you could really have a feast there at
Yeah.
the snack stand.
And they had
I
those
mean,
funny dressing rooms. And
a quarter went a long ways back in those
I
days.
think that pool's still there. I think they still use it.
It is. In fact, they
Yeah.
added like a wave. They added like a wave pool thing to the one end.
Nice.
So yes, it is definitely still there.
So Gary used to invite us over to go swimming, and my dad wouldn't let me go alone because I wasn't 16 yet. So Steve got to chaperone and have a lot of fun that summer because he got to hang out with me and Gary. And so we'd go swimming, and then Gary would order pizza. We'd have pizza parties at his house. Steve
Yeah,
really liked that.
sometimes we'd go to Little Italy, but yeah, I got a lot of good pizza out of that deal.
Yep.
That was one of my more yeah, favorite boyfriends of yours for sure. Because not only were you getting something out of it, but I was getting something out of the deal. So
Yes. I know Gary drove, so he used to probably drive us back out to the farm at the end of the fun time that we had. And I'd say we spent probably 3 nights a week there in the summer, don't you think, Steve? We were there a lot.
we were there a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were 16, I was 14. Or no, that was the summer. That was before you turned
Yeah, I
16.
was
So
15, which is why you had to be there.
I was you, and I was 13.
Right.
And then you went on your first official date with him in August. But
Right.
uh, but yeah, we were hanging out. That was the summer after my freshman year, huh?
So my
Or
birthday was in August, as Steve said, and August 16th is my birthday. So I'm sure I went to youth conference that year. I don't think that was the year I screwed up with. No, it wasn't. That was the year before that I'd screwed up with Bill Shelley and Jim Burnham. So Gary he was kind of a short guy, and he had the old part in the middle with the Sean Cassidy hairdo, but he had red hair. And just really jovial and fun. Everybody liked. I don't know anybody that didn't like Gary. He just was a super nice guy, and he had a sister that was in my class, Lisa, and his
mhm.
parents kind of took to me, so they really enjoyed having me around because I'm kind of goofy. And so then August 16th rolled around, and my dad insisted on taking me on my first date. So he took me to see the movie Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John, and ELO provided the music for that. And
Right.
Gene Kelly was also in it. So I loved Olivia Newton-John. My dad loved Gene Kelly, and it was kind of a mix of the two time periods. And it was like the perfect show to watch for, a father taking a daughter on their first date. And Dad really enjoyed the movie. I don't think he thought he was gonna, but he did. And I think he took me to the Brown Derby. I'm not sure which restaurant we went to, but he took me to a nice restaurant, took me to the movie, and he was just, opened the doors for me and just made sure that I knew how I was supposed to be treated. So then Gary came and took me on my very first date and brought me like a dozen roses. And he did take me to the Brown Derby. And I don't think
Mhm.
we went to a movie after that. I think we just ate at the Brown Derby. And I think Gary's the one that got me interested in seafood, like
Okay.
lobster, crab, that kind of stuff. And then I did go with his family once out to the Catawba Island Club, maybe twice,
Hmm.
on like a Sunday afternoon. The whole family would get in Mr. Pollock's vehicle, and we'd drive out to the Catawba Island Club, which is really first rate. I mean, that's the fanciest place I've ever eaten. I think maybe one other time I ate at a fancier place, but you'd take a sip of your water and there'd be a waiter over your shoulder refill your water for you. So it
Yeah,
was
I wish that would have happened before you turned 16, so I could have got in on that part of the deal.
I
But
know, right? They were very
anyway,
attentive. And then
right.
that fall, I got to go to the Ohio State football game. I think I might have even been at the Ohio State Michigan game. I do remember it was in Ohio Stadium. And it happened to be band alumni day. So I don't think it was the Michigan game. But so I got to go to the Ohio State football game with them, which was awesome. And band alumni day, they do Script Ohio on all four sides of the field at the same time. So it's super
Right.
impressive.
Right.
And then Christmas came along, and they got me some really nice Christmas gifts. And in fact, the sweater that I wore for my senior picture, I got from Gary Pollock's parents for Christmas. So they got me some really nice gifts. They were really like a second family to me for a while, which was really nice. And then in the spring, I think Gary was going to Bowling Green State University because he was a senior when I was a sophomore. And he was going to Bowling Green, and we just kind of felt not really, we didn't really not like each other. We just kind of were going different directions, I guess is what I'm saying. He had his life at college and I had my life in high school. And so we just kind of broke up. And I do remember we broke up in the spring. I remember mom driving me to Bowling Green to talk to Gary. And that was a really tough time. She was really kind. She got me out of school for the day and we just drove over to Bowling Green. I talked to Gary and we kind of broke up. And so I was crying all the way home. And then I didn't have anybody to go to prom with because I had broken up with Gary, who was the guy I was dating. So my friend Martin Hahn said he would take me to prom as friends. And so Martin and I went to prom together. But just I never think of Gary with anything but admiration and respect and love. He was a really good, he was a good guy to have for my first official date. And we just had a lot of fun together. So I
Well,
don't
let me
have any
share.
hard feelings towards him at all.
Yeah, let me share a few stories and a little perspective.
Yep.
So there was a time I recall going up to the University of Toledo with you and visiting Gary, and Mark Weber was his roommate, as I
Oh, that
recall.
does make sense. Those two always got along.
And and yeah, there was, I don't know, there was some weird things. There was some weird things going on there for Mark.
Yeah.
I seem to recall that when we were in that dorm room. But the other thing I do remember, Cheryl, was that there was, towards the end of your relationship, I think maybe it was more you that was breaking this off because there was a lot of desperation going on for Gary.
Mm,
I remember Gary being pretty desperate towards the end there
yeah.
and not wanting to lose this relationship. And I don't know what was causing you to decide that it needed to come to an end.
Right.
But I do think it was you that was doing that, and not him.
Yeah.
But that's just my emotional recollection.
No, I
Uh,
think you're probably right. But it was still hard for me to hurt his feelings, I guess.
but there was a
But there
time
was a time.
when I went up there with you. The
I
other
kind of
memory,
remember that you hung out in the dorm room with them for an afternoon or something.
yeah, more time than I'm sure I wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing I remember is the one time when Gary got stuck in the lane. We had a lane that went to the farmhouse. It wasn't a quarter mile long, but it was a good couple hundred yards, 250, maybe 300 yards long.
It was
It
a very
seemed a
long
lot.
way to go in when it was windy and cold.
It seemed a lot longer when you're in grade school, but
Right.
it really was only a couple hundred yards. Um, but Gary got stuck in the lane one day during the
In
winter
the snow.
in the snow, and he had a brand new Mazda. When Gary, at some point there, his dad bought him a brand new Mazda because he didn't have that at first. But sometime at some point during your relationship, he got this brand new Mazda.
I think he
Maybe that
drove
was
a red Pinto for a while.
right. And so he got this brand new silver-like Mazda, and maybe he got it in the fall. Not sure about that, but he had it in the winter because that was the brand new car that got stuck in the lane. So I drove the
Okay.
656 down there to pull Gary out, and I was like, hey, do you want to, I don't know what to hook onto here, Gary. So do you want to, hook? What do you want to hook onto here? Because I don't know what to hook onto. I'm just 13 years old at this point, maybe 14. I was probably 14, and he didn't want to get out of the car, and I had my chore clothes on and my boots, whatever. So being in the snow wasn't any big deal for me. So he's like, just hook it onto whatever. So and you couldn't see a whole lot because it's buried in the snow. So I'm just like reaching down there trying to find, okay, this seems like something kind of secure. So I hook it on, and I ended up pulling his bumper off of his brand new car because whatever I hooked onto was not the right thing to hook onto.
Well, I'm sure they
So
had good insurance.
after we kind of pulled part of the bumper off, then we found something else to hook onto, and we finally got him pulled out. But that was another memory that I had of good old Gary. But yeah, he was. It was a good summer for me there until you turned 16, and then that all kind of fell apart for me. But
Hmm.
but but that's kind of what I remember of Gary. So
Did they have video games we used to play or something? I kind of remember doing something in their living room too.
well, I don't remember that,
Yeah.
but I don't remember
Maybe
everything.
it was just board games or something, but I do remember being in their living room, their family just kind of being around and laughing. And they were a very jovial, they were a very close knit family.
that might have been something you did more with them that I wasn't involved in. Not
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
So, but Bellevue sure was a fun town on Friday night football nights. I mean, what a fun experience that whole thing was, and going
I
up to
think
Burger
Gary
Church.
used any excuse he could that fall to come home on a Friday night so he could like go to the
Oh,
games with me. And,
oh,
you
sure.
know, so he was home just about
Mm.
every weekend from Bowling Green. And so we used
And
to hang out together.
his parents were probably like, he really needs to be up there having the college experience, not running
Yeah, they
back there
probably weren't too happy with him coming home.
having more of the high school experience.
Yeah.
But so anyway, it all worked out. So whatever happened to Gary? What's his status today?
The
I didn't.
last I knew, he got married, and his wife recently passed away, just like a year or two ago. So
Wow.
I think she had cancer or something. But I'm not sure if he had children or not. I guess I never bothered asking that.
Hmm.
His sister did. His sister Lisa ended up married to Jeff Hay, and they had three girls. And Lisa recently passed away from cancer too. That was more like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. But
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
they had a daughter that looks a lot like Jeff, with dark hair and real cute. And then they had a set of twins that look a lot like Lisa.
Okay.
So
Now, I wouldn't have thrown the word cute and Jeff in the same sentence, but that's
I
okay.
know, right? But Jeff makes a cute girl.
But anyway, I would throw
Well, you
Jeff on.
remind me a lot of Dobie's mom, Shirley.
Okay.
The dark hair and the kind of dark, just the dark Italian features. And that's what one of their daughters looks like.
I would certainly throw Jeff on the offensive line, but I wouldn't throw him in the same sentence with cute. But anyway, that's okay. Any of those Hey Boys, could that was so cool when you had the three Hey Boys there at Parents' Night at Bath, and they
Uh
had
huh.
the two parents surrounded by the three boys.
Yeah.
That occasionally you would see parents who would have two football players, but to have all three of them on the field at the same time was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Good family. Really, really good family.
yeah,
So that'll be another discussion, but I didn't date Dobie till my senior year. So that's, I still
right,
got a few guys between here and there.
right, all right. Well, hey, so we are 22 minutes into this, and we should probably let these million people go.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like a good time to go. I got to fold
yeah,
laundry.
but thanks thanks for sharing all that. I'm going to go help Heidi with the garden here a little bit, and then when it gets dark, I'm going to go sit in the hot tub and rest these muscles that I worked out. So, and we will be on tomorrow night with it's Testimony Tuesday. We'll have to see what we do with that tomorrow night.
I'll send
Um,
you my picture, my one senior picture. I happen to just have taken a picture of it, and I'll put it on your Facebook page so they can see the cute sweater that Gary's parents got me.
yeah,
That's my adorable senior picture, which is pretty.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So I saw something. Let me just throw this out here. I saw something on Facebook tonight that this guy who was the director of the missionary department. He looks like maybe he's in his early to mid 60s or something. Anyway, he was down in St. George with his family over the weekend, and apparently there was some kind of accident. I don't know whether he was mountain biking or what, but he some kind of injury, and he died. Um,
oh man.
and he was like the director for the missionary department, but he had spoken here at the missionary training center just like last week, and he really was urging the missionaries to really make an effort to share the gospel, to share this amazing journey, this amazing path that we are on to the celestial kingdom. And that was kind of like his last testimony, even though he
Testimony.
didn't know it at the time.
Well,
So
he's got a direct shot to heaven. Then he doesn't have to worry.
it was a pretty amazing post,
Mm-hmm.
and what they had to share there. But you just never know when your number's up. Stephen
Nope.
Covey, Stephen Covey, who literally lives just blocks from here,
Mm-hmm.
who no longer lives there because he's dead. But
Wrote all the books.
similar thing for him 20 years ago. He was mountain biking. He had a helmet on, but some kind of accident, and that was it. That
Yeah.
was the end of Stephen Covey. Kenny plays football with a Covey that I think is his grandson.
Nice.
He's a quarterback, and Kenny was a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Kenny didn't get to see a lot of action this year, but we're hoping for a little more action here next year if he chooses
He
to
was a
run.
Pine brother.
But he was kind of a Pine brother, except they don't let him sit. So he was a standing on the sideline brother. But anyway. But hey, we will be on tomorrow night. We appreciate anybody who tunes in live and anybody who catches us on the restream. We appreciate your comments, your likes, your any kind of feedback or input that you have is certainly valued and appreciated. So with that, we will let you all go, and we will catch you tomorrow night.
Yeah, look for my picture. Bye.